So I think our build-up in the past 3 weeks has been to this point कि आप अपनी campaign बनाने की आपकी बारी आ गई है. You are now equipped enough to make your campaign. The prerequisites for trying to launch a successful, a good campaign was to do ample amount of research. Kickstarter के जिस तरह algorithms चलते हैं और जो Indiegogo के all these crowdfunding platforms इनके algorithms जिस तरह चलते हैं, it's very important for you to understand those. But for me, the research phase is very, very important. So we've already done that कि आप अपनी research कैसे कर सकते हो, how your industry specific research can be done, and how do you come to a conclusion where your campaign can stand out in the category you're trying to post your particular product or service in. So in this week, our focus will be on the two middle boxes called the campaign, and right towards the end of it, हम लोग बहुत brief touch करेंगे points on analytics, but the main crux of today's conversation will be on the campaign itself. So a lot of videos we'll watch in this particular session because we'll go over the main things that you need to cover. And as you can see, उसमें सबसे पहली चीज आपकी आ रही है video. So in this session, we'll only be concerned about what is in our control, and that is the campaign itself. In week 5 session, we will cover, and I'll just kind of go back to this particular slide, कि traffic कैसे लानी है. How do you run your social media? How do you run your email marketing, PR, influencer, affiliate marketing? So abhi ki agar hum baat kare, it is specifically going to be on what the campaign requirements are from the two platforms that have been in discussion, Kickstarter and Indiegogo. So if I break down the campaign requirements, there are 6 things that you need to figure out. They are effort-wise listed. So the video requires, in my opinion, the most effort. Then goes the description, the campaign overview page. Then आपकी images का section आ रहा है. What sort of images do you need to choose to excite the backer to back your project? And then the goal and stretch or not amount and your rewards are something that aren't that heavy centered around the effort that you're kind of that you have to put in, right? So जब मैं research की बात करता हूँ that you have conducted before, it will kind of go into all of these 6 points, but once again the main 2-3 points are the ones that are in the top list: video and description. And once you've done with all these 6 things, once you figure this out, you can eventually submit your campaign for an overview to the respective campaign platform. And then they take a limited number of days to approve the campaign. And agar koi na koi us tarah se chota mota issue hai, so they will come back to you and they will kind of try to rectify that. So let's begin with the video section. It's very, very important. As I have shown you in my previous sessions, once we were overlooking Kickstarter ki website and Indiegogo ki website, that once you look at the particular platform itself, the very, very first thing that you see is, the video ka jo ek banner aa jata hai. And as you know, in this day and age, through social media, through content creation, the easiest way to consume or to show a consumer any data is through a video. People avoid reading. However, whereas it's made it easier to communicate your point through video, it is also extremely important to consider the attention spans of people. So जब हम वीडियो की बात करें, you can't expect the viewer to be glued through to your video throughout that time period. It's very important कि आप उसको exciting करें, उसको entertaining रखें, so that they can immediately get hooked on to what kind of message you're trying to throw out there. So this is the most important of the campaign. अगर मैं कुछ stats की बात करूं, 50% more chance of getting funding. So any campaign that has not had a video compared to ones that do, आपका automatically 50% chance बढ़ जाता है of getting funding. The average video length is technically supposed to be around 3 minutes to 40 seconds. However, My personal suggestion would be to keep it around 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes, because even a 4 minute or a 3 minute long video kind of tends to be, quite a lot. The reason for this is, again, the attention spans of people are very less, so 3 minutes se kam honi is important. When we talk about research of your past campaigns, of the past campaigns done in your category, it was important to see what is the flow of those videos, what makes them enjoyable, what makes them memorable. So it was very important for you when you were doing your research to be listing down things, what your competitors were doing, and how the videos were kind of, processed. So to begin that, it would help कि अगर आप एक storyboarding थोड़ी करें, you try to analyze what kind of important points you want to put in the video. But if I break it down into 3 phases, those phases are, आप सबसे पहले problem के बारे में बात करें, then you talk about the solution, and then what your call to action is. So you immediately want to get into what problem are you addressing, because 3 minutes so मैं आपको average बता रहा हूँ of what a type of what how long the video should be. However, the attention span, an average video is played for not more than 10 to 12 seconds. So you really want to have a very sharp line right at the beginning of the video to actually get the attention and get the user to then watch the entire 2.5 3 minute video जितनी भी लंबी आपकी है. So the video needs to be very punchy, which also means that there need to be short scenes throughout the video, more moments as opposed to a longer shot. So there needs to be more moments included in your video. Banisbat, you have a shot that is showing a longer scene. So the shorter scenes will kind of get the video to be, more attractive. I'll show you the videos we made. I'll also show you a couple of videos that have broken all sorts of records on crowdfunding. But if I go back to my journey of my crowdfunding campaign, I think the one thing I delayed my campaign was for because of the video. I got stuck on the video for months, for a very, very long time than I should have. I kept thinking that I can hire someone to do this for me, and I would meet animators, I would meet digital graphic designers, and kind of think that they would eventually do it for me, because I did not think I had the capability to do it. However, some months into the process, I realized that the first thing I need to start doing is to write down the script. And I just didn't think I had it in me, and I kept kind of pushing that thing at the back and thought that someone else would do it. However, the best way to just start, with your video effort is to literally take a pen and paper and write down the different scenes that you're imagining, and problem kya hai, solution kya hai, call to action, and then you take it from there. So you make an extensive draft and you keep bringing it down, and then with time you make it very crisp, and precise, and include points that need to be there, for example. And uske alawa, you're not just picturing the shots, you're also picturing ke music piche kya play ho raha hai, who's doing the voiceover, and a lot of other things are factored in once you actually end up making the video, right? So if there are any questions, can easily answer them right now or in our office hours session later. But before we talk or discuss more about kis type ki video honi chahiye, I think it will be very helpful for you to take a look at the next 3-4 slides, where we'll go over the best rated videos, and we'll also go over the videos that we have conducted over this piece, over the course of our campaign. So we had 2 videos shot. Okay, so this is the very first video we want you to see, called the Dollar Shave Club. Dollar Shave Club was eventually bought by Unilever for $1 billion. And let's watch the video before I tell you a bit about them. But Dollar Shave Club is a subscription-based model, a razor blade company. So let's look into what their video was about. So this is one of those videos that were, very, very highly rated. The way they went about it, कि शुरू में problem के discuss करते हैं, solution, and what their call to action is. And just the way it was shot, very interactive, and the different elements of this video that only research can, eventually help you identify which particular things were very important. One thing I categorically remember from 4 years ago when I was doing research for my videos was that, and it will surprise some of you, that keeping cats, putting cats in audio, in videos or your pictures gets and grabs the attention of people. So if you don't believe me, you can actually Google this particular point. कि cats का होना किसी video में gets the user to kind of watch the videos for longer, whatever the reason behind that is. I tried a lot to have a cat presented in my video, but unfortunately we just couldn't find a way to fit those in. So this was one of my favorite videos, and even anywhere you look at any campaign video, this video will be in every article that you could particularly think of. Now, the Coolest Cooler video is specific to crowdfunding, and Coolest Cooler was one of the highest rated products that were able to raise funding on crowdfunding platforms. So let's take a look at what and how they were able to present their idea through their video.
That's the sound of a cooler coming down off the shelf. It's the sound of imminent fun. So why haven't cooler designs changed in almost 50 years? Boring coolers are boring, break easily, and are a pain to get to and from your destination. I wanted a cooler that was really well built, yet had so much fun built into it that I would look for excuses to get outside and enjoy it. So I created the Coolest. The Coolest is a complete redesign of what a cooler can be. First, you've got this 18-volt rechargeable blender. You don't realize the number of places you could really go for a blended cocktail or smoothie until you've got a blender built right into the lid. You're already carrying around a cooler full of ice and tasty beverages. Why not blend them up and become a summertime hero anytime, anywhere? And what's a party without music? The Coolest comes with a removable Bluetooth speaker that connects to any smartphone to wirelessly stream music from up to 30 feet away. It's amazing where speaker technology has come in the last few years. You can skip songs and adjust the volume right from your phone, and this little box can really put out some sound. And since you've got that 18-volt battery for the blender, why not get the most out of it? Maybe your camera battery is low, or maybe you have an iPhone and want to use it after 2 in the afternoon. Recharge your gear wherever you are with this waterproof USB charger. The party doesn't stop just because the sun goes down, and you shouldn't have to freeze your fingers searching endlessly for your favorite drink. The Coolest has waterproof LED lights embedded in the lid so you can easily find what you're looking for with the push of a button. One of the biggest hassles of outdoor fun is hauling your gear back and forth from the car, and I've experimented with various ways to solve the problem. I love coolers with wheels, but I hate that they refuse to help carry anything else. The Coolest has you covered with locking tie-down bungees, so you can carry all your stuff in just one trip. And what about getting organized to go out in the first place? The Coolest helps out almost like a picnic basket to make sure you always have a few key essentials with built-in storage for reusable plates / cutting boards and this awesome rust-proof ceramic knife. Plus, the removable divider gives you a whole new level of flexible packing options. You can pull the drain plug on one side and your Coolest can stay dry and cool just like your refrigerator. Say goodbye to soggy sandwiches. Regular cooler tires are flimsy and sink right into the sand. We designed the Coolest wheels to be twice as wide to roll twice as easily. But how many hours of your life have you lost looking for a bottle opener? My grandpa's cooler had one, and so does the Coolest. We were so excited when we broke the Kickstarter record, but we're even more proud with how fantastic the Coolest turned out. So if you have the kind of friends and family who love to get outdoors and want to turn good times into great memories, then choose your color and get your Coolest today.
Right. So Coolest.
Hey everyone, Ryan here, founder of Coolest.
It was one of that.
Here is the very first Coolest Cooler hot up.
A very, very huge amount of funding. And if you kind of go back and imagine what kind of video they were showing and the kind of scenes that they were showing. So they showed the सबसे पहले तो उन्होंने problem identify की what is the problem that your particular product is facing, and then they showed the solution. So the solution ki jab aap baat karte hain, to you want to show multiple use cases of where your product is being used. So then they went into the features. Problem identify karke, the main crux of their video was spent on what sort of solutions could the cooler bring. So then they're showing you different scenarios jahan pe unka product use ho raha tha, and that's also very important to do. And we'll also discuss the use cases to show in the description phase कि आपने user को दिखाना है. You have to show them that in all these different scenarios, your product will come in handy. So you actually need to, reignite their imagination of where and how can they actually use their products, your product. Okay, with Preserve, I will show you both videos that we made. Why am I showing you both? Obviously, neither one of them were perfect. The first one was further away from being perfect than the second one, hopefully. But Pehli wali, for us, was able to raise funding from angel investors locally. So another point I want to make here is that for two and a half years, I was pitching Preserve in this form of presentations and decks. Whereas my big goal was always to grow for crowdfunding. I realized that crowdfunding ke jaane ke liye bhi we needed a decent amount of money. So we were also trying to raise locally through angel investors and venture capital funds. So our presentations, when we were pitching our presentations for almost a year and a half, 2 years, we weren't able to lock down an investment. But jab humne apni crowdfunding ki video bana li thi, so we were able to raise funds. And the reason why we made the second video was because we were able to raise funds and improve the quality of the video. However, once the first video was shot, our intention was always to, put this up on crowdfunding. So let's just go over, take a look at this video, and then मैं उसके फौरन बाद आपको अपनी दूसरी भी वीडियो दिखाऊंगा, and you'll see the improvements we made. We concised our content. हमने कोई 3.5-4 minutes की वीडियो को 2 minutes तक ले आए. We made the concepts more crisp. We made the shots shorter and more articulate. So right after the first video, I will show you the second video so you can kind of see the improvements we made over that period of time. Again, keep the problem, solution, and call to action thing in mind. And we'll now directly watch the second video that we eventually used.
It sucks when we need our phone the most and it runs out of juice. This is Preserve, the world's most energy-efficient mobile phone charger and power bank combined. The way it works is amazingly simple. You connect your USB cable to Preserve when charging. Once your mobile is fully charged, the electricity stops going to the phone and starts preserving the energy in the power bank. Magic! Preserve is not just a power bank, but also has a removable battery that fits nicely into any wallet. It will give you an extra 30% juice when you need it most. This feature makes Preserve the first power bank in the world that can be used in 2 different locations at the same time. These days, power bank users carry more charge than they actually need, a practice that is extremely inconvenient. When you use Preserve, you simply save time and increase the efficiency and longevity of your phone.
Hi, I'm Hamza. A year ago, we started off with a mission to create a unique and innovative product to solve your problem of overcharging. We hired a team of top engineers and designers, hosted several surveys, and went through a rigorous design process to present to you an optimum product in Preserve. However, we made Preserve simple and ensured that it doesn't change your existing habit of charging your phone. There are dozens of companies making millions of power banks, but we have the most efficient two-in-one product to date. We need your help to make Preserve a roaring success. Never have your phone run out of power again when you need it most. Pre-order your unit and pledge your support. Right. So coming back to the deck, Saira, if you have any points to make or any differences to identify between the two videos, please feel free to do so. For me, from the offset, I think we were able to really make the video, the second video, more concise. Our points that we wanted to talk about and elaborate and wanted to get across, we were able to really bring some finesse to them, और हमने बेहतर articulate way में उनको we were able to kind of showcase the people what the product was all about. So another part of the process is that before finalizing the video, you make a little rough edit, show it to your family and friends, get some feedback from them. Feedback बहुत ज़रूरी है. One often tends to get tunnel visioned when they're just working with them with their small group of teams. So regardless of the first video that we showed you, we weren't able to kind of release that. We still would have made iterations to it, and that is the way to go about even your video when your time comes. So I'll first get into now the second part of the campaign, which is the campaign description page. Okay, campaign description page is treated like it's a Word document where you have almost 10 to 12 pages to fill out with 1,000-word, what do you call it, 1,000-word limit, for example, right? So if I share the screen once again for the campaign page for Preserve, I will, so this is your page, we've gone over this. I'll once again just skim through up apni, please keep your eyes towards the left half of the screen, that overview, Preserve in the press. I'm just quickly going to main features kya hai Preserve ke. This is the flow that is used by every particular campaign. And I'll talk more about the help Indiegogo gave us. But first, hum use cases hai, where can Preserve be useful? Then you show those on images. Why is Preserve needed? What are the features? How can those features benefit you? Added some animation to pictures to make them understand better. So this particular phase में आप GIFs डाल सकते हैं, animations डाल सकते हैं, pictures, text, whatever you want, you can include in this particular part of the campaign page. Infographics can go in there. You need to make it exciting. There's no limit to what the description page could look like. As you can see, these are some GIFs. And then some animation on pictures, whatever one can use to help the user understand better what the best use of this product is like, how it works, how do you connect Preserve to the socket and to your particular phone. Another GIF, then you're talking about specifications. Specifications में भी you could have literally just named these, but we went a step further. And it's all about trying to show the backer and trying to convince them that you've done most of the work. So we shared pictures of all the sketches we had done. And if you can see, these are extremely extensive. Where are the nut bolts going of this particular version? Then the 3D drawings of these products, how, where, what is happening. Again, if the user sees this, if the backer sees this, they know that the work and the effort is being put in. हर एंगल से हमने पिक्चर दिखाई हुई है, 3D drawings of what the product was during the inception phase. The final outcome, what Preserves looks like eventually. Then what are the perks? We'll discuss the reward tiers eventually also. What was in the box? Box के अंदर क्या है? What is the product warranty like? What do the timelines look like? What is the team looking like? What was the evolution like? So once again, you can go above and beyond trying to convince the backer that all the effort has been put in. So this was the first, believe it or not, this was the first version of Preserve. Um, Once we found out here that technically what we wanted to do was possible, we then started moving towards the value adds the products could give us. These are some drawings that we got made on what the hardware product would look like. Then this is the old version of what Preserve looked like, which you must have also noticed in the first video that we shot. Then more sophisticated drawings, more detailed drawings of Preserve, जिसके बाद हमने फिर इसका एक final version choose किया था. Then this is where we started 3D printing the very first version of Preserve and what it could potentially look like, and actually making the first working model of Preserve. For final appearance, I'll just show you a little video, a 3D animation of what Preserve was all about. Coming back to the description page, हम लोग development में किधर हैं? What all have we done? And why do we need your support? This is also very important. आपने user को बताना है end में कि भाई आप आ गए हो crowdfunding website पे. Why are you on crowdfunding if you've done all the work? So what do you really need support for? If you're trying to raise money, which you are, if you're on the platform, what do you need the money for? And the FAQs, frequently asked questions की भी list. So you want minimal ambiguity around your campaign, right? So you can think of as many questions, and this is what the description page eventually आप लोगों का जिस तरह का दिखेगा. So I've just broken it down into the top topics that need to be covered in the description phase. And when we were very close to launching our campaign on Kickstarter, Indiegogo officials kind of lured us in and convinced us to use their platform. And the help they gave in response to that was that their team eventually helped us towards the launch of our campaign कि आप ये करेंगे तो आपको इसमें इसका फायदा होगा. So they really helped us with the flow. So the overall flow looks something like this कि पहले आप एक overview बात करो directly to the point. And at this point, it's also important to understand that the user will only come onto the description phase only when they have enjoyed the video and they like the video. So this is kind of the second process कि आपकी campaign का कि अगर video उनको पसंद आ गई, then they will come here and check out the work you've done. So even in the description phase at the top, you want the overview to be there. And then in the press, obviously that gives you some kind of backing कि अच्छा जी ये press में भी आ चुके हैं. Then the main features, how can you use Preserve? Why is it needed? Iski functionality kya hai? How does it work? What are the specifications? What are the reward tiers? What will the backer get if they pay X amount of money? Phir aag jayega ji, what's in the box? What is the product warranty looking like if it's a hardware product? Then what are the timelines looking like? Very important to list down the efforts of the team. And we went a step further with our some of the last 3 points mentioned: the evolution of product, how far the product has been made, and why we need your support is important for every campaign. So kept that towards the end as well. Campaign images. What are the campaign images looking like? As I showed you throughout the campaign description, you need to, at the end of the day, let the user imagine what your product usability will look like. So you kind of want to show it to them कि वो एक real life scenario में किस टाइप की वीडियो को प्ले कर किस टाइप के सिनारियो में वो प्रोडक्ट यूज किया जा सकता है. सो यू कैन see the different settings that your video is being played in, your product is being used in. हमने उसकी stills भी लिए. How do you hold it in your hand? How can you potentially be using it in your day-to-day life? So these are very important, and this content is not only going and being very, very helpful in your social media campaigns, which we'll discuss in the next week, but within the campaign description phase bhi aapne dekha that we put out these images in different ways, and how can you do that is of extreme importance. So different use cases ki images lena, as I mentioned early on, will be very important as well. Then you talk about the optimal goal. Optimal goal may, it is very, very important to factor in all of your costs. So what is the amount you need for the product to actually go into production? what kind of money will you need to give to the campaign. So the campaign referrals normally take 4-5% platform fee hoti hai. Then aap end mein courier bhi kar, you're actually delivering your product to the user, so you have to factor in the courier costs. Keep in mind that you have the option to choose where all you want to send the product. You want to limit it to the US, UK, Europe, Asia, or anywhere in the world. If it's anywhere in the world, then any project coming from even South America की courier cost आपको अंदर fix करनी पड़ेगी. So the goal amount that you're setting is very important and needs to be very carefully considered, right? So you will make the list of all the costs like manufacturing, packaging, delivering, and no expense can you leave out. For example, you may think that courier costs of maybe 300 backers will not be that much, but you want to factor everything in ताकि कोई चीज उस तरह से miss ना हो जाए. So this is something that will require ample amount of effort. You will look at the other campaigns in your categories, what kind of amounts they have raised, and the main idea being that जो भी आपकी required amount है आप उस पे 30% एक cushion के तौर पे add कर दो, and that is the amount that you want to eventually be asking for. Reward tiers. This is what the gist of reward-based crowdfunding is, right? अगर हम crowdfunding की पहले बात करते हैं, so crowdfunding is anywhere where an individual or backer or party is giving you X amount of money and you're giving them something in return. In reward-based crowdfunding, you're actually giving them the product in return, right? However, आप 5 से 7 different reward tiers set करने आप लोग को ज़रूरी होते हैं. It's very important to have certain reward tiers because not everyone will have the money to buy your product. However, some people may even like the campaign, so they could give you a little small amount. We didn't do that. However, it is recommended to have a reward tier set at $1, $25, and then eventually जो आपके product की cost होती है. $1 में normally you must be wondering what do you give the backer in return. So normally the rewards given to the backers against a $1 reward is that you give them a thank you note. आप अपनी website पे उनका नाम दे दोगे. You will send them an e-card for thanking you. Then $20-25 pay, you can normally give them some merchandise, some t-shirts, some keychain of your product. But then you're really trying to sell your product. So all these prices that you see, the first two prices are early bird discounts. So eventually हमारा product $69 plus $10 की shipping हमने charge की थी, but हमारे early birds भी थे. So anyone trying to buy it very soon will get the product for 49, and then a second early bird was 49. And फिर आप बाद में उनको family packs or distributor packs में भी discounted versions देते हो. So if you look at the description page, description section of our pair of preserves, जिसमें 2 preserves लिखा हुआ है. So the description for that is 2 preserves, share the love and get 2. Get your hands on 2 preserve units and save $89. अगर आप 2 मार्केट से खरीदते हैं उसकी रिटेल 198 होती, हम आपको $89 का वो दे रहे हैं. Then obviously उसकी shipping इसमें add होती है. So you're basically trying to, when you talk about selling the product and including that in the reward tiers, you make different packages, get pack of 10, pack of 5, pack of 2, and then how much of a discount you can get in each of these particular reward tiers is also, that is very important. These tiers are very, very important. And when I talk about research, now you know the main deliverables of your, I'll just go back to this particular slide, that when you're doing your research, तो आपने research इन सारी 6 चीज़ों में करनी है. You want to do your thorough research on video, description, images किस तरह की लिए हुई हैं आपके competitors हैं. What is the goal amount this put to stretch or not to stretch? We will discuss stretch or not to stretch in the next session also. But rewards भी उन्होंने क्या rewards दिए हुए हैं. So when I talk about research, the extensive research session we did last week, it is important to consider which all the elements of the campaign of your competitors that you have chosen. And then आप eventually अपनी campaign review होने में suggest भेज सकते हो. However, before you are at that stage where you're a month away from reviewing, hopefully some of you will eventually be launching your campaign soon. We can help you with launching your campaigns. We can also help you reaching out to experts on Kickstarter and Indiegogo, and then they can also help you, give you that final finesse on how to particularly add value and quality in your final review. And mentioned earlier, this is towards the end of today's session. analytics. As soon as your campaign is launched, or even before that, it's very important to be familiar with these few tools that will help you gauge where your backers are coming from, kitne paise aap logon ne raise ke liye, and just data that will help you for the duration of your campaign, and try to see where you can convert your potential backers from which of these platforms. So Kickstart, Indiegogo have their own respective analytical tools that you can take help with. And then the last three are third-party tools. Google Analytics ka code install karna apni landing website pe is also important. All these things will eventually just need to be put in place and be familiar. One should be familiar with how to use them. However, the use of these analytics only starts as soon as your campaign has been launched. So in next week's session, we will talk about, I'll go back to the first slide. We will talk about traffic कैसे generate करनी है. Very important topic. And we'll also discuss जो आपने post campaign आपने थोड़े बहुत efforts करने हैं to obviously, fulfill your promises. But the traffic part is where our next session will be heavily dense on. So yeah, this was today's session. Hopefully you all learned a thing or two about what the campaign deliverables are primarily. And once again, any questions you want to ask me, you can always feel free to reach out and probe me further. So just wanted to see if Sarah, you had any questions. If not, we can end the recorded session and inshallah address any questions that we may have from any of this participants who will be watching the recorded session. So any questions, Sarah?
No, today's session was pretty clear cut. I have no questions.
Okay, fair enough. These are primarily the easiest way to break it down, not to make any of, you not want to run away from crowdfunding. तो मैं जितना simple करके and break it down, but these are primarily the main things, and the main effort is being put on your video and your description page. बाकी चीजें, इतना effort उनमें नहीं लगता है, लेकिन आप लोग की main effort is on the video and description phase. So if anyone has any questions regarding these, please feel free to reach out, and I will see you in next week's session then. Thank you and take care, and I will see you soon. Hafiz.